I would say that there is somewhat of a myth about peace being this total whimsical removal of pain, this removal of fear, to where you're just walking around, just everything's perfect. I've come to think of peace, a recognition, confidence that God has his hands on my problems. The worry that I can choose to have, I actually don't need to do, because I know that God is in this. And so that's what I would say peace is. I was born as a healthy baby. At my 6-week baby checkup, my parents took me to a pediatrician just for a wellness checkup that every baby goes to. The pediatrician that was scheduled to see me that day was not in, and it just so happened that the person who was a pediatric cardiologist. I went into cardiac arrest. She picked up on it immediately and rushed me to the hospital for what is an emergency surgery, where they just aim to put a hole in my heart to keep me alive. So that way, 6 months down the line, when I'm 6 months old, I would have an open heart, full surgery. The pulmonary artery and the aorta were flipped. The blood circulating through my body was not getting enough oxygen to keep me alive. At the moment in time, back when I had the procedure, it was just a very experimental science, to where there were very few people that had the condition, but also very few people that had survived the procedures. I actually grew up playing sports. I played baseball, basketball, boxing. I mean, pretty much everything that you can imagine I was involved with. Very active kid, from a little guy all the way up until and through high school. Over the course of time, I just came to a place naturally that I was okay. Because of what that story was of me having this totally amazing encounter with this cardiac pediatrician, that God had intervened in some miraculous way and that I was healed. So I kind of grew up with that mentality throughout childhood. I was informed that this was a condition that really, the procedure that was done was a really long-term Band-Aid, and that as I get older, the functioning of my heart would go less and less and require that I would not only need open heart surgery again, but I would actually need some type of new heart, whether that is a heart transplant or an artificial heart, depending on where medicine is in the next 10 to 20 years.
In 4 months, we were about to get married. We were engaged at this time, and we get this news that I wasn't expecting. I just thought he was going to get another doctor's visit where they were going to tell him everything's great. And so my first reaction really was like denial. Like, I didn't believe that. How could we move across country to go to Bible college and, about to start this life, and then be told that my husband needs a new heart?
I was shocked. It was, just like getting hit with a shotgun shell, where I was just stunned. It had gone against the grain of everything that I had come to believe, the way that I had lived my life. It just came to a screeching halt as we did get married and we did have a baby. Just really coming to grips with the reality that some of the things that we've talked about and hoped for and wished for your whole life were things that it was a very big possibility that those things wouldn't happen.
I think through this, I have found peace in our suffering and in our story. And at times, I would say that was probably supernatural. For sure, every time we go to a doctor's appointment, I have peace that's, surpasses all understanding. But my peace came from I really have a relationship and trust on who Jesus is and who God is, and knowing who he is and knowing what he's done for me and actually believing that he's with us every step of the way gives me peace.
I have just come back time and time again to the cross and a refocusing on what exactly took place on the cross. And I think for a lot of my Christian journey, the primary component of looking at the cross to me was being a vehicle for salvation. That's the place where I got saved, was because Jesus went to the cross for me. But as we talk about death and the fear of death and some of the suffering that we're undoubtedly going to endure, I've found this somewhat tragic beauty in the cross, that it's also the place where my God, who created me, he willingly participated in my pain at that place. If God is truly with me in that, where is he not with me? And so that has given me such a powerful sense of peace in my life, that even in the worst place that I could possibly be in, God has and will meet me there.